has left her microphone on.
The gas.
Zog, I love you.
Aww.
We're professionals. No, we're not. We're just having fun. It's all good, kids.
Relationship goals right there. Alright. So, last time, the party kind of split up a little bit. Sir Icrius got into a little bit of trouble. While the rest of the party decided to have a chat with one of the higher ups. Seethe tried to piss off the delightful Mr. Sunshine.
I would have gotten away with it too.
I don't know why I'm summarizing it. I'm not the DM, so I'm going to hand.
Well, actually, the DM really appreciates the players narrating because it shows they're paying attention. So, I will give Jurnis a point of inspiration if she can continue.
No pressure.
Sir Icrius managed to gather a number of clerics, and through some careful persuasion, he was able to convince them that the lich under the city was indeed a threat and was something to be dealt with. However, the clerics also voiced caution, echoing words of the rest of the party, to Sir Icrius's great annoyance, but he reluctantly agreed. The rest of the party, after informing all of the information that they had towards Margot, they then were given the task to subtly investigate the issue with the Veril possibly being involved in the recent terrorist attacks. And that was where we left off, I think.
That is pretty much exactly where you left off.
I must say, that's not quite accurate. Sir Icrius, she accepted that we weren't able to deal with the matter right away because we need to prepare.
Yeah, you accepted it. You weren't happy about having to wait, but you accepted it. That's what I said.
I don't recall being particularly hung up, but okay.
To be fair to Sir Icrius, he was actually the phoenix of the mountains. He was diplomacy itself. Any other person who would have walked in there wearing that tabard would have probably fallen down the stairs a few times.
You know,
like other people
curse
have.
Those stairs, you know? Terrible curse.
I know, right? It's crazy.
But to steal a phrase from our beloved DM, I've slept since then. So then.
It is one of my favourite phrases.
But you slept?
What is sleep?
My father used to always say, if you're looking for sympathy in this house, you'll find it in the dictionary between shit and syphilis.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
You're going to use that now. But anyway, so, enough of my rambling on. Let's hand it back over to Dungeon Master Dennis, Devillo, you, that guy. Would you like to tell us a story?
I would love to. Yes, and superb summary right there. For this session, Jurnis Springsinger has a point of inspiration.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm sure I wouldn't need it at all.
No. So after having been politely ushered out of Margot's office by the invisible, ever-present, not at all terrifying Mr. Sunshine, you are now basically in the main antechamber. Warden Reap's office is just next door, and so you have something you've been suggested, but you don't have to. What would you like to do?
Must you antagonize the invisible creature? Jurnis says to Seethe.
I don't have to, but I wanted to. Yeah,
You know what,
that
I'm
is
not
not
arguing
a
with that.
good idea. Well, if he insists on trying to spy on us, he better be prepared.
Margot, I've known Margot all my bloody life, and I don't even know what the hell Mr. Sunshine is.
That name, it's like calling a great mighty demon Sprinkles or something.
Oh dear. I had originally thought he was an unseen servant, but now that you're telling me that, I'm now not so sure.
Maybe it'd be a good idea if next time we're around here, have a word with our friend Icky, see if we can get a little sniff.
Good point.
Now, I'm of the belief that when you're face to face with a lion, you don't try and kick it in the spads.
Sounds like a good time to me.
I mean, if you're into some S&M, that's up to you, darling. In the meantime, we should probably, make some tracks. She nods. Graz nods to Lynx and the rest of the crew.
So then, what's the next step?
Well, I suppose going to speak to Reaper would be the best option.
The game has paused, we can't move.
Oh, there we go. I'm a professional dungeon master.
Hello, Bob.
You're alright. Bob gives you a little nod as you guys make your way out. It is
Tiberius?
Graz, isn't it? 1 second. Tiberius is going to follow along.
Yeah, good dog. I love how we've just informally adopted this little creature.
I mean, it's what you did with me, isn't it?
I was just about to say that.
You weren't there, son.
Jurnis just kind of looks over to Graz.
Say, because how old does Graz look in comparison to Skullface? Bear in mind, he's goblin equivalent mid-30s.
Okay, yeah. Graz Neath, from what you would understand, she looks to be a woman in her mid to, I would say, mid-40s. At least in terms of goblin years.
He just has a raised eyebrow at that point.
She is older than you.
Not by much, though.
So, you guys head down the corridor. You find yourselves outside another office. This one, the waiting room seems fairly empty and sparse, a little bit unkempt. You do see on the side a little plaque that says Warden Reap, Veril Liaison.
Alright, well, Miss Springsinger, I think you best handle the knocking on this one.
Perhaps. Didn't we used to have a little... Oh, I can't remember. Alright.
Yes, come in. So, as you enter the room, or rather you open the door, you see this governmental office. Again, it's a dwarven building, obsidian flagstones, and fairly austere walls. It is absolutely covered in blankets, soft fabrics, rags. There's a few books and, bits of paper strewn around. I say a bit, there's actually a great deal. You see Reap poring over a series of notes, looking a little bit... This guy looks ridiculously overworked. Also, for the rest of you who've never met this individual before, he is a Veril, rat folk. He's about 4 to 5 foot tall. Somewhat... he looks a little bit worse for wear. You do see one arm is still in a sling, and he's trying his best to, lift a bunch of papers from one end of the room to the other. with just one hand, and it seems to be a little bit awkward. You're not sure if this is his normal state of affairs, or if this is just as much, he's basically been a little bit clumsy.
Is this like the
Oh.
conspiracy wall but on the floor?
Give me an insight check.
Sure. Insight.
Looking around briefly, the layout of the paper, the notes, several books, you see newspaper clippings and all that, it actually may not be as random as you first thought.
Everything alright, Reeb?
Yes, it was Spring Singer. Yes, yeah. You were involved in that whole nasty business with the riders a couple of days back. Yes.
Yes.
Please come in. I don't mind the mess. I'm just reorganizing some stuff.
Understandable, sir.
Jurnis is going to try and get a glance at some of the papers on the desk and such without being obvious about it.
Okay, give me a investigation check if you'd be so kind. 15, not bad. Okay, you see, I would say you do notice some newspaper trimmings about the recent attack. You're noticing a couple of maps of the city, certain areas. You also do notice areas of Grimscar. You couldn't really make out the details of them, but they seem to be some sort of official reports. A bunch of... It does... With a 15, I would say you would have... this is one thing I can say that you say. You do notice as well, there seem to be small photographs of various Veril, other rat folk, next to a series of names. And a good chunk of them appear to have been crossed out. It looks like obituaries.
Any I recognize?
With a 15, nobody you've not really spoken to any other Veril aside from Reeb since coming to the city. But with a 15, I'd say you're smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. This would be a list of the dead in the attack that almost killed Reeb.
Is everything alright? Do you need a... I was going to say you need a hand, but I feel it's a little insensitive in this instance.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. Actually, could you actually just
He looks like he's about to fall over, with this pile. You run over and grab it? Mm-hmm. Okay. You grab this heavy set of books and you realize, holy shit, that is... You know how heavy some paper can be? It's a bit of a struggle for you to hold it. Give me a strength check, please.
Jurnis is not strong.
Yeah. I would say I would go with a 12 because you think, oh well, I'll just hunt. Oh my god! And it's like basically you try and slam it onto the table, but you don't quite catch it in time, and it starts spilling onto the floor. Reep's able to just lean forward and just grab the other end. Yes.
no, it's all right. Yeah, I know it's a bit deceptive. Well, thank you.
He directs you to just place that pile in on the corner over there.
Now, please pull up a chair. Let me see. I know Mr.
Now, Wex, here's a question. You have the mask off or on?
He has the mask off at the moment.
Mr. Greenstride, yes, Mr. Ang, Miss Neath. I don't believe we've had the pleasure. He points to Seethe. Also, Mr. Tahu, I'm assuming you're just sitting out in the waiting room with Doc. Is that correct? Not a problem, not a problem. Okay. So,
medicine check, I'll be able to tell if I could help with his arm with cure wounds.
I didn't see. Oh, I actually missed that. A 5. You don't know. It couldn't hurt.
Reap, would you like me to try and help you with that arm a little bit?
How do you mean?
Just hold still a little moment. I'm just gonna gently touch him on the shoulder.
Give me a
persuasion.
I would say persuasion because you didn't really explain exactly what you're doing. He slowly leans his arm forward a bit warily. Sure, give me a what was the spell?
It kills me to see you in discomfort, my friend.
Oh, okay. He sort of like flexes his arm a little. It's like,
oh no, actually, yeah, no, that does help a little, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a while, but thank you. Yeah, no, that's definitely taken the edge off it. I appreciate that, Miss Springsinger.
No problem. I hope we can bend your ear for a few moments, if that's all right.
Happy to be of assistance. What can I do for you? Also,
he actually does look back over to Seethe.
I don't think we've been introduced. How can I help?
The name's Seethe. Pleasure to meet you.
Seethe. Yes. Was there a second name there?
I just told you. And she just taps her nose.
A name and a description.
Give me. Go on, Jurnis. Go on. You first.
They've been assisting us in our inquiries, which is actually one of the reasons we've come to speak with you, Reap.
Right. Yes. So.
He looks really distracted, by the way.
I believe you're the most to grips to this, if you'd like to explain, really.
I'm so sorry you cut out a little bit there, Nicholas. Say again.
She basically was saying to Rex that she feels he has a better grasp of the situation.
Right, Warden. Put simply, we got involved in infiltrating a mining operation under the city. One of the cartels.
Under the city? Where was this?
Down in the wilds.
Oh, yes. I'm aware of the Dorcasilo, I think it is. Let me just see.
He starts scrabbling through his notes.
Yes, that would be the Hobgoblin Natrix, the Dredger Cartel. Would that be correct?
Yeah, long story short, we had to deal with it. We managed to find some papers regarding the recent incidents in the city, the explosions, and a name came up. Scrack.
Okay. So there's a few things happening at once with Reap. First of all, like you see him look a little bit wary about the fact that you killed a witness or a person of interest in an investigation. Then he gets very interested about the idea of you having some papers to show him. Then
Stuff on the table.
Okay, yeah. He's leaning forward to get them just as you mentioned the name Scrack.
I'm sorry.
He leans back.
Would you please say that again?
Rex will briefly look through the papers, find the one with Scrack's name on them, and basically pass it over.
Yeah, he grabs it. It's just like...
Oh, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. That can't. Oh, no. He looks very, very concerned. Oh, I don't get this. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, sorry, context, yes. Have you seen, has anyone else heard this?
The only other people who know are Margot, because we had to report to her first, and Ike.
Carry on. Okay, so you do notice his eyes narrow a little about the fact that you reported to Margot, who is, well, she is a member of this town council, is also, she's in charge of a cartel. Everybody knows it. So you do feel the energy change a little bit when you kind of mention where your loyalties lie. He goes like, I see. Understandable, yeah. But, wait, you said Arcanus as well? Councillor Arcanus?
Yeah, she kind of came with us.
Well, as unpredictable as she can be, she's trustworthy at least. And Miss Penrose, she does have, while I wouldn't exactly agree with a lot of the things she does, I understand the way things are in this city, and I appreciate her assistance in the matter. But yes, alright, fair enough. So, for clarification, Elder Scrack is one of the leaders of the Veril in this city. He's about as high up as you can get, or technically low down, given, we live underground. The fact that he is supposedly behind an attack on our own people is not good.
What could
Tell
possibly
me.
gain from this?
I have an idea. He Reap sort of like looks over Ang's shoulder towards the door. Miss Neath, would you mind shutting the door? Graz. Oh, okay. Yes, Specky said you did it. Nice, thank you. I'm assuming. There we go. And Tahu, would you kindly give
I'm
me
working on it.
Yeah. So I would say stealth, followed by a perception check. Okay, let's see what Reap's insight is like. So a passive perception would be. I would say that just as Reap is about to explain, I would say you all actually hear a creak just outside the door. I'm sorry, Miss Neath, would you just open that door for me a second? Is there someone out there? Graz leans forward. Tahu, do you say or gesture to Graz in any way?
I just pull out my smoking equipment.
No, it's fine. It's just another associate of ours. Reap's eyes now lit. Would you please invite your associate in? Graz sort of sheepishly gestures to Tahu. You might want to just come inside, mate. Oh, come on, boy. And she calls over to Tiberius as well. Boop. Okay, so everybody's in.
Anyone
Reap
else
just
out
like,
there, Graz?
not that I saw, but I can keep an eye on the door if you want, boss.
Yeah, just lean on it and keep an ear.
Will do. Reap is eyeing the Kenku intently. Let's see.
I would say actually, Jurnis, given where you are, you're still by his side, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You see him sort of like reach down and open out a drawer in his desk, and you see him sort of like, again, one-handed, flipping through a series of notes, and you do notice Tahu, small photograph of Tahu, and some information there. Probably puts that way. Okay, I see.
Sorry, I missed that. What?
Oh, basically, you see Reap check a smaller folder in his desk, and there are a couple of photographs of different people in there, and one of them is Tahu. I would say as well, actually,
Recognize any of the other?
you do. Another one you recognize is Jasper Wilberforce de Smythe.
Mm.
So Reap just sort of gives a sigh of resignation. Well, this is wonderful. No such thing as secrets after all. Well, what I have to say really shouldn't leave this room, but I get the feeling that I don't really have much say in that. What do you all know? I'm so sorry, say again.
I look pointedly at Tahoe.
What do you... Quay. What do you know about the Veril exactly? What have you been your experiences with us outside the city?
I can't really say. I mean, most of the Veril I've met round here are decent sort, hard-working.
I appreciate that.
I do have to admit I've never actually interacted with the Veril until I came to the city.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. We, by and large, we try and keep to ourselves. We tend to not interact much with surface folk. We spend most of our time, in the dark underground. This city and this situation's it's kind of unique. Nowhere else allows us to be up on the surface. I would say anybody who wishes to give me a history check.
School face. You can have a slice of that action.
Okay.
Should I bother?
Yes, if you wish, because I would say Seethe has actually been around a little bit, so she may... This is to see if you have a little bit of it... Oh, wow, Ang, okay. Okay, I would say Skullface and Ang, with those roles, you do know that there are stories about the Veril all over the place, all over the continent for the most part. Cusvel Grim is the only place that they've been known to have a home or a nest on the surface. Everything else that you know about them is that they tend to be reclusive. They very, very rarely are seen on the surface, but they have been sighted anywhere there's a major, population center. A lot of people presume, similar to kobolds and other Underdark races, they tend to congregate in, sewers or, that kind of thing, out of sight. But they are an ever-present and very numerous race. Now, the long and the short of it is, there's a lot of us, and we tend to spread out all over the world, to be honest. The Ratways, that's sort of how we get about. It's a series of underground tunnels that go straight through the dark. Major roads, I suppose you'd consider them. We maintain them, keep them. Every now and then we allow others to traverse them. Once, a long time ago, we actually opened them up to some top dwellers,
the dwarves of the Forgelands. The forge itself, the big underground network and everything, that was originally part of the Ratways before they relocated us and built their big complex pretty much on top of our nests. There are some people who, and when I say people, of course I mean Veril, who take issue with that. And they've never really let it go, despite it being, nearly 400 years now? Just like any other race. I'm so sorry, say again?
Okay, you'd be surprised how long people can hold on to a grudge.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that unite all of us, to be fair. People are people, good and bad. But yeah, there has been, for a while, let's call them a pressure group, sort of like the Riders, who've been causing issue. We've heard rumour about them recently, but we haven't really been able to find any real evidence. We know that they're connected, but he looks down at the paper that you handed him. I didn't realise how connected. We would prefer it if no one were to know about this. The peace treaty that allows us to be up here, the Pact of the Rats, and all that, it is a very delicate situation. If people were to find out that we weren't able to keep our own in check, that this sort of thing could happen, it might cause problems. You see, I've got a theory that whoever's been, well, I say whoever, the Vrixis, they're called, Skrak and the Vrixis, they are trying to drive a wedge between the people of the city and our people. At the moment, the Veril are really comfortable with their situation. I mean, this is one of the few places in the world where we can just, be ourselves and not be hunted down or driven off or this, that, and the other as vermin. If that goes away, then support for the Vrixis might rise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, exactly what you mean.
And how do I put this without being... There's a lot of us. You've seen the Veril Quarter, the towers, the nest, how big that rises up?
Yeah, I know.
That's a small portion. There's a lot of us, and if Skrak's able to get us riled up enough to where we stop thinking and start being stupid, it's gonna be really hard to get people to stop.
Oh god, it's the Renville Riders plan, but on steroids.
Yeah, and no offence, Warden, but the Veril Quarter, pretty flammable.
You would be amazed at how many people have tried that. And Miss Springsinger makes a very good point.
Exactly.
The Riders, all of this was done by Skrak. If this information's correct...
Do you think he was collaborating with Lord Grey, or do you think manipulated him?
Well, without Grey alive to testify, it's a bit difficult. We do have his wife, though. Although rather, Miss Penrose has his wife. I suppose that's a conversation that we can have. But yes, I have a theory that well, he points to the large network of notes and everything. I was reading up on the riders and some of their associations and Grey and all the stuff he'd been doing, and he was a greedy individual who wanted power, but there was something missing. The timing seemed a little bit unusual.
DM?
Hello.
Sorry if it sounds really stupid for me asking this, but who are the riders?
Oh, there are no stupid questions. So, for context for our newer players, in the previous season, a group of dwarven supremacists, dwarveses, if you will, they were pretty much doing something similar. They were basically attacking any goblin-owned businesses in the city, or rather any non-dwarf-owned businesses. Things got so bad that the whole city was almost on lockdown, and the party found out that the riders, or their leader, Victor Grey, were planning to detonate a very, very, very large bomb in the middle of Grimscar, pretty much wiping out most of the goblin population there. It was later revealed that Victor Grey was actually a noble who was trying to use the situation for his own ends to get a seat on the town council, the plenum. However, they weren't too sure where he got the weapon from. Eventually, they found out that the weapon came from the Fulbrider family, who are a group of tieflings who were, let's just say, they had a bit of a connection with Skullface and one of the other player characters' storylines.
So, how much of this does Seethe know about?
I would say you know that the riders were a major issue until about a week or two ago.
Huh? Well, Seethe's very happy about that then.
Yeah. Yeah, the general atmosphere in Cusvel Grim, if you're a non-dwarf, is a little bit fluid. You know, more often than not it's okay, but every now and then it's just that one person who throws stones at cats.
Well, let's just say I don't want to see any more innocent deaths right now.
Same here, anything that we can do to keep the peace. I need to think about this. If Skrak's the one behind this, we need to be very careful. Personally, I would recommend meeting up with a few people that we can trust and arrange a meeting with the elders. Something small and self-contained, so we can deal with the problem internally before anything else happens. Does that sound agreeable?
Sounds perfectly fine to me, but there is one other issue that's come up.
Oh, good. You see him put a small flask on the table. Go on.
We have also been travelling with a gentleman by the name of Icrius, the Phoenix.
Yes, the Phoenix from the mountains. Yes, he's a member of Queen Tugas's. They're called roaches, I believe. Diplomats. I'm aware of them. Yes, we've had them before.
Well, we have reason to believe that a creature we think is a lich is loose somewhere in the Undercity.
A lich.
Well, that goes away, big flask comes out.
We can't consider.
Yes. Literally, that's what happens. I see it.
As far as we can tell, she didn't proc any of his senses that paladins have. But she's down there somewhere, and he and Councillor Exaldor went to the mission to get a few eyes on the ground, so to speak.
Right. You did say that he went to the outreach centre, yes?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, that is a completely different issue, but yes, that's incredibly bad. Wonderful. Not one, but two potentially world-ending, or rather city-ending events. The thing with this city that I love and hate is the fact that at any moment it can all just fall into the abyss. You know? It's like, if it's not the undead, it's our lot, or it's, no offense, the goblins, it's just everybody, or the dwarves, everybody is at each other's throats every moment of the day. Makes life interesting, though.
He basically picks the flask up, pulls the stopper out with his teeth, and just starts drinking.
Well, that's my breakfast ruined.
See,
To be honest,
he's done a Sam Regal with a giant flask.
Yeah.
That literally that.
To be honest, I think Councillor Exaldor's going to kind of be ending that one.
Well, that's something. I do trust Arcanist's judgment in that regard. I know most people don't, but I've happened to have worked with her for. She's not as volatile as you would think when she needs to be. But no, that's something at least. But yes, I would appreciate discretion in regards to any matters that would rile the undead of this city. Anything that would upset the goblin population, the dwarven folk, or of course, the Veril.
Well, that is why we decided to try and inform both you and Margot with as much of the information as we can.
Yes, I do appreciate that, and, you know, Miss Penrose, again, while I may have personal disagreements with some matters, the reality of the situation is we are all in this together. So I appreciate your point of view, Mr. Greenstride. Well, I need to... The worst thing about this is I honestly don't know who else I can tell. We lost one of our other leaders during the attack. Elder Gloomtaker was with me. She was not as injured as I was. She actually helped pull me out of the incident. So I think she is someone we can rely on. I'll have a word with her and arrange a meeting. In the meantime, I would, and he looks especially to Seethe and Tahu, I would appreciate it if any other interested parties that are invested in the well-being and continued running of this city, I'd appreciate it if they would allow us to do what we do and not get involved.
Do either Tahu or Seethe react?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. The August Sanctum exists in this city, so if this city falls into the dirt, so does the August Sanctum. Excuse me.
You do intend to play nice, don't you two?
Well, of course.
Tahu?
Right? Smokes.
this is the reaction, just looking for a yes or no. Smoke.
Yeah, you do see Reap like cough a little.
I'm not sure if I said or not, but I do have a delicate constitution. if you would refrain from smoking in my office, I'd appreciate it.
Hey. Well, I know you brought me in here.
I know. Well, is there anything else before I, put the feelers out?
And we figured
No,
out
I
what we
think
need to do.
that's
That's everything
that's
we
all
have
for-
at the moment.
Right. It's going to be at least 24 hours before I can arrange something like this. But your discretion is appreciated.
Of course.
He looks. I would say if anyone wishes to give me an insight check.
I am on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as am I.
He is worried. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jurnis, you can tell that this guy is pretty freaking worried. There's a lot that's weighing on his mind at the moment now, and you can see him like basically the gears are turning, trying to figure out the best way of handling the situation. Skullface with 20 freaking 2. He's terrified that the whole city is just gonna go. You get the feeling it isn't just his people he's worried about. He thinks the entire city is gonna go if he basically missteps. So, do you do anything else before you leave?
No worries, Warden. We'll keep everything under wraps.
Please do. Thank you. He shakily puts. I'm so sorry.
Then we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Miss Springsinger. And while it is incredibly bad news you bring, I appreciate you for bringing it to me. Get this taken care of.
It was a pleasure
Okay.
meeting you, Reap.
And you, Miss Seethe, just Seethe, gives you a very intense look.
She just
Not
gives a very-
threatening, just very intense.
and she just gives a very toothy smile back. By the way, I love what you've done with the place, and I especially love the giant harmonica you have in the corner. And she just leaves before she can be corrected.
If you were trying to get him to turn around, he does not take his eyes off you.
By the way, Seethe was referring to this thing here.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Jurnis
So-
bombs.
While all that is going on, we
Hello.
find ourselves in a slightly different location.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom,
Well, technically it's the Legion of Anti-Doom.
You know, I'm sure by now Miss Springsinger has found some way to drag my name even further into the dirt.
You're just convinced that Jurnis has it out for you.
Yes!
and also the Jurnis is the only one.
So, as we left off last time, Sir Icrius has made his case to the assembled group. You were also informed that Dr. Lilius Nim was upstairs working on autopsies for some of the recently deceased. Was there anything you wished to do while you were here in the outreach, or did you just want to head straight back and meet up with the group?
There is one thing I'd definitely like to do.
Yes.
So Icarus would actually like to hand over 100 gold to whoever's willing to take it. He will basically explain that the idea is to buy some powdered silver for like ceremonies and protection from evil and good, because as he will just empathically state, if he tries to buy it, there's going to be a ridiculous markup, whereas they, being like trusted public servants and not big old meanie sepsis man, they'll probably get a discount, or at least the going rate.
Yeah. Okay. The gnome cleric here, Nilolson, she'll actually offer a handout for it. I can take care of that. I don't think anyone's going to try and shortchange me. At least they're not going to do it twice. Gives you a very toothy grin. You will notice as well when she smiles, she is missing one or two of her teeth.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
I like it.
Yes. I rather like all of them. They heard me out like decent people, and I appreciate that.
We're right here. Namika, the Tabaxi cleric here, just sort of tilts her head a little bit to the side.
Anyway.
Yes. But no, seriously, it is refreshing to speak with a member of your faith who is not fire, brimstone, screaming their head off, throwing stones, that kind of thing. In fact, that is a point. Are you familiar with, his name was Father Stuka. I'm not implying that you all know each other. I'm just asking if you have heard of him at all.
Yes, Miss Springsinger mentioned him once or twice.
Yes.
I believe he's single-handedly responsible for dragging our faith through the mud.
I certainly hope it is just him. But yes, the last I heard he was, he went back to the town, Siomer to the north. It is owned, I believe, by sepsis worshippers. If you wish to have a chat with them at some point and explain how a true diplomat or a true person of faith should act, that would be appreciated.
Oh, you needn't worry. I already made plans to do that.
That is appreciated. She gives a little smile. Well, I have things to do. It is a pleasure to have made your acquaintance. She gives a little nod, and she is going to head on out. I'd say over the next minute or so. Say again?
I just goes, right, well, now we got all that sorted out, what do you want to do now, Icrius?
Well, there is one more matter. I believe I overheard that the doctor's here, yes? Dr. Lilius Nim?
Who are you asking? Just a general room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say just as she's about to leave, Nil again pipes up. Oh yeah, well Helga's the one who let her in, but she looks over her shoulder. This dwarven woman steps forward. Yeah, she's supposed to be a big shot from across the continent. The coalition, human. I mean, for an atheist and all that, she's got a reputation for helping. So, as much as I'm not a big fan of her, she's been getting stuck in. I'll give her that. Literally, to be honest. Last time I went up there, she had her arm deep in some poor bugger's corpse.
I'd rather not get a civilian involved, but I've seen the woman fight. She's no normal civilian, and she knows a thing or two about the undead herself.
Oh,
yes, it might be worth seeing if she would be willing to help in our cause.
That Helga does seem a little more interested. She folds her arms and leans forward. So, what do you mean she's interested in the undead, exactly?
That's a good question, Dennis.
Yes, that is a good question.
Did the good doctor explain in detail what her interest is?
Give me an intelligence check.
Int.
Yes.
Ability check. 15.
15. Okay. On your travel, it was several days from the mountains to this general area, and you had brief conversations until that rather nasty incident with the zoblins,
Yep.
the zombie goblins. You are smart enough to know that she has a fascination with the undead that she keeps very close to the chest. She is a woman who has put up a wall. She has a very formal, clear-cut, straight-laced presentation. But when she was discussing anything personal, anything that inspired her, this very cold, formal presentation slipped, and you saw this fascination, this drive for knowledge, insight, understanding. You're not sure what. But I would say with the 15 as well, you do know that living in a city where the undead are allowed to at least wander around a little bit, it might not be the best idea to explain too much about whether or not she's into the undead, researching them, until you know more about the people you're talking to.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, it's safe to say she has an academic interest, an intense academic interest. Whether that's a good or bad thing.
As long as she's not poking any hornet's nest, we've had enough of that. I'm not the biggest fan of the flipping undead or anything myself. I mean, say what you want about Skutgar and the rest of your lot, but I mean, we're on the same page there, but they are allowed to live here, and me and my lot, we're here to enforce the laws of this land. Anyone who makes trouble for anybody who lives here, living or undead, goes through us.
So long as they don't cause trouble, and so long as she ain't got a necromancy or anything like that.
Well, that goes without saying. If she were a necromancer, I'd take her head off right now.
Needless to say, she wouldn't have been allowed in this building.
In this country?
Oh yeah, good point.
Oh, fair enough then. Yeah, she's gonna be just up the stairs. You're gonna find her in the old Ilmela room. That was where Dorrit was before she. She was the one that Stuttgart ended up. Okay. Stuttgart didn't have her killed, but she died because of him. Nobody else is really part of her weird little cult, so for the time being, we're using it for storing bodies until we're able to deal with them, you know?
Fair enough.
I would say as well, Icarus and Arcanist for that matter, would you please both give me religion checks?
I'm not expecting Icrius to do too well because she is not very religious.
13. With a 13, yeah, you've not heard of Ilmela. That's not a religion you're familiar with.
Ilmela isn't a deity I'm familiar with.
Oh no, I mean, it's some weirdo little cult from the Coalition.
No offense, but all your gods kind of merge into one with me.
The dwarven cleric of the adversary sort of narrows her eyes a little and tilts her head a bit. Fair enough.
It's not like I don't. I mean, I get the whole. There's differences, not that, but my people, we kind of don't really have gods, so.
Oh, good for you, love. Good for you.
Kinda hard to explain.
Well, again, to each their own. Everyone's got their own path in life.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to throw shade at you, so apparently I can be a bit abrasive. I apologize. I'm trying to work on it. I'm actually a really nice woman when you get to know me. She gives you a
no
grin.
worries.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. You've been more than cordial with me.
Aye. Well, anyways, you two. That doc, she's up the stairs. If you've got anything else you need, just grab Neil or one of the others. I'm gonna double check and make sure that they've taken care of all the mess outside.
Of course.
Yeah, no worries.
You have a good one.
You too.
She steps out, and I would say at that point, Neil's going to follow her.
And now it's just us.
That and the half-orc. Yeah, the half-orc who runs this place.
Yeah, dealing with guards kind of, like I said, my people don't exactly do the whole guard thing. It's more kind of like nature spirits sort of thing.
Well, like Helga said, to each their own. I mean, the Absepsis traditionally don't believe in any other gods exist other than Absepsis himself, but I subscribe to a different philosophy.
Oh, they ignore that.
I believe that all of the good gods are basically Absepsis himself. Like, all good deeds are done in Absepsis' name, whereas all evil deeds are done in the names of evil gods, or one evil god.
To be fair, we kind of don't have much good or evil. It's all nature, survival of the fittest, that sort of thing. I mean, you can be altruistic, you can be kind 1 second, and then you could be savage and running in battle the next.
I see where you're coming from, but I prefer to think that we can rise above our base instincts.
My friend, I'm all about the base instinct.
Yes, you rock it well.
You gotta give the massive, not threatening, but definitely showing off more teeth than a regular person would.
Of course. But yes, I reckon we're done here. I had considered getting the good doctor involved in our fight, but upon consideration, that might not be the best idea, at least not at this moment in time.
Yeah, last thing you want in a powder magazine is a lit match.
Mm-hmm.
Very wise. So, unless there's anything else you wish to do,
There is one more thing. Icrius looks down at his tabard and sighs. Is there really any point to me taking this thing off? I still have the shield. It's not as if I'm hiding it.
I would say that you do see this half-orc woman put her hand up. Sorry to butt in. I don't think I actually mentioned my name. My name is Kutlu, Sister Kanti Kutlu. I'm only here recently. I kind of missed all the drama, shall we say. But here they seem to be very on edge still about, she gestures to the room, about all the stuff that happened recently. There is a difference between being part of a faith and shoving it in their face, waving the flag, so to speak,
This is a better part of valor, basically.
It just makes me feel rotten inside having to hide who I am, especially after spending my life being proud of it. But I see your point.
Believe me, I know exactly the same. I have spent most of my time working on, forwarding the mission and everything. This is the first time that I've come outside of the wildlands, and oh wow, yeah, people are very different here.
Oh yeah, while we're on the subject, sister, do you mind not telling people about the whole me not actually being crazy thing?
I don't
know who you are, so that's not going to be an issue.
Oh yeah, basically, if anyone mentions the crazy elf woman that turns into a wolf, that's me.
Oh, you have lycanthropy?
No,
Oh wait, I thought that was illegal over here.
no. You see, it was my great grandmother who was the lycanthrope.
Huh. Okay, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure. If anyone asks, I will tell them you're nuts. You're completely bonkers. Does that make sense?
Not a problem with me. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Oh, very well. Just give me a minute. And yes, Icrius is reluctantly, but he's going to take the tablet back off again and tuck it back in his inventory before coming back out. There we go. That should minimize the chances of me getting rocks pelted out of me.
To be honest, people have been throwing rocks at me as well. It's some of the people here, they kind of suck.
That they do.
That I can confirm.
I will say this: they are the minority. Vocal, but they are the minority. By and large, good people here, worth sticking around for. Also, that is really good armor.
Thank you very much. Roach armor, best in all of Yabalhari.
I've been here for 100 years, so.
You look good for 400.
It wasn't just the cake I stuck around for.
I'd like to think the vocal minority is what some of the more abrasive members of my faith are, but I guess that remains to be seen. I'm a long way from Yabalhari, after all.
That is something for you to explore. But whatever path you take, I wish you well.
And you too.
If I find again? Her name is Kanti Kutlu.
Kanti Kutlu.
Yes,
And
she is a half-orc from the Wildlands.
And you as well, Kanti Kutlu.
No, just Kanti is fine. But no. If I find anything else of yours or something that would be good for you, I will put it to one side.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
No problem.
Right. Good day to you. I reckon we'll be off now, Arcanist.
Yeah, we should probably head back to the others, and I need to go have a few words with Plenum, so.
Okay. So, a little bit of time passes, and the two separate groups are going to. I assume you guys are going to eventually meet in the middle. So, did you guys make any sort of arrangement as to where you were meeting in the city?
Did we arrange to meet back at the Turley Tower, or did I imagine that?
I mean, that would sound like what we'd arrange.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually did arrange it, but I'd go with logic and say it's a place we all know, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay then, so one of the few maps I didn't preload because the DM is a fool. But let's just get everyone back over there. And of course, we are going to get somebody else's token over there. If you bear with me one moment. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, the one map I didn't think of preloading. But yes, so I would say you eventually all make your way back to the tavern. I would say, actually, given the fact that you were only having a brief conversation with one group of people instead of multiple meetings, Icrius and Arcanist would have been there before Jurnis and the rest of the group. Anything you guys are doing while you're waiting?
I'm trying to reload the map.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I tried refreshing it, but now it's just.
Oh yeah, we've got at least one person. I think Skullface is on the
The splash page. Okay.
Game,
The splash
game, please load. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it sorts if you go from the splash page back to then back again. So, and stuff is
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, it is literally loading from my hard drive across the aeons and the miles and miles of internet. So this is something that can be addressed in the future, but
Okay, I'm on the map now, so that's good.
huzzah! So everyone is in the tavern. Right.
Yes, but it's dark. Low light. So I'm just going to refresh. Just give me a quick refresh.
Okay. Is there while all that's going on and we're just dealing with technical stuff, there won't be any combat here, hopefully. So unless anyone starts a bar fight. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss? I'm assuming you basically bring everyone up to speed. Both parties explain what the other have been doing.
We all together now then?
I would say at this point, yes.
Okay.
We're all at the bar.
No, that's just me. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're back.
Okay, so you guys basically built everything to Reaper and to Margo, yes?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, it's just so I know who I need to talk to before we go into the plenum.
Are you thinking of telling anyone else on the plenum?
Well, I'm gonna kind of leave out the bits that Reap didn't want us to mention. But
You mean all of it?
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, in regards to our other underground problem.
Oh, right, yeah, the blonde bitch. Yeah, sure, alright.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. Because we can't get the sort of that out, and well, we can't exactly go marching down there on our own. I'd rather have at least some kind of official approval sort of thing.
Makes sense.
On that subject, yes, those at the outreach were very receptive to what I had to say. Took a little bit of convincing, for they are clerics and not paladins like I, but they are willing to lend their aid. And they, like me, feel that as soon as we can deal with this matter, it has to be dealt with.
Yeah, and since I'm the only person who's still alive that fought those things when they first started coming out the ground, it's a good thing that I go with you.
Well, I'm certainly glad to have your assistance, Arcanus.
I would actually say either Arcanus or Seethe. Well, I mean, basically both your characters. You would know that when the sinkhole happened and half the city fell, and the abominations, the nightmare creatures, the whatever the hell you want to call them, started swarming. They never really went away. Now, they were fought back. They were kicked out of the streets by the Devillo and the remaining city folk. And they were herded back towards the wilds. But they've never really gone away so much. And every now and then, they do cause issue with, especially like people in Grimscar, if there's a problem with the barriers. But it isn't something like this ancient threat that no one's seen for anything. It is the things that live there are still an ever-present threat.
Oh yeah, it's just that Icrius is probably the one person who has the most experience dealing with them.
This is actually very true.
But yeah, thankfully the goblins and the cartels down in Grimscar, they keep most of the abominations in check. But you get one coming up every now and then.
You would know as well that the Veil are the ones who handle the rest.
Yeah,
if either one of those two groups were to go,
yeah,
it'd be bad for the city.
Last thing we need is the Veil deciding to leave and the goblins going. otherwise we'd had those fucking things appear in a flash.
Now, we are all up to speed on what the other party did, right? That information has been exchanged.
Icrius is very careful to word it to sound like a hypothesis, just in case people are listening.
Give me a perception check, just for the sake of it.
Okay, 1 second. Go on. Nope.
Okay. You do notice, as ever, as she's cleaning glasses, Gale in the corners trying to keep an ear out, but it is fairly noisy around here. You're fairly sure that she's not heard anything.
Icrius has been around long enough to know when you are discussing something sensitive that needs to be kept secret, you can at least make it sound like it's hypothetical. Within context,
So,
anyway.
Well,
yeah, you are all up to speed.
well, then it seems to me the best way to minimize the risk with my matter is to assist you with your matter. And he just gestures to the group at large. And as roaches are here to help, my sword is yours. And this time it is here willingly. I have to break in this new blade anyway.
Yeah, quite a beauty.
Would you like to remind us and describe the weapon?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll have to get the art up now. So I can describe it in better detail. Woo! Where is that art? There you go. Okay. So yes, in the last episode, Icrius found stashed between some freaking scrolls tucked away, soon to be thrown away, a beautiful, beautiful longsword. Like, this thing is just resplendent. It's got a freaking little crown at the end of the hilt, the pommel, I believe is the correct. Yeah. And the hilt is like golden and silver wings. And along the blade itself is like, I don't know how to describe it, is a gold lining, but on each edge of the blade is a phrase, a prayer, if you will. And it says, there we go. Warned with a call that the battle starts now. Demons, listen, we strike them down. This thing is very much in your face, divine. Holy.
So, you all see Icrius pull out this long sword and just look at it reverently, almost, like with great pride. All of you see this fairly normal, average-looking longsword. It looks sharp, but you don't really see anything special about it. I mean, it's nice and all, but he seems happy.
What a flashback. Personally, I find killing demon. Well, it's proven killing demons is just as easy as removing their entrails.
Yes, well, it's not often you get to pull off a shot like that, is it? But I will say, Sir Icrius, I'm rather impressed that you managed to convince the clergy to back you up on this.
Oh, really? What makes you say that?
Let's just say I went to them for help back when I came back to the start of the city, and only the shall we say, the punchy nuns helped.
Ah, the aggressary.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're rather spirited folks. Quite fond of them.
Yeah, I think I might put my foot in it with the last one, to be honest.
But here's the thing, we may be all of differing faiths, but we all serve the common good. That is how we were able to unite in this task. Also, sorry for interrupting, Master Skullface. Please continue.
Oh no, just saying that I basically said now we should use a religion as an excuse to other people, and didn't have the caveat that wife-beating bastards deserve it.
Mm-hmm. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes, well,
Hehe.
I think it's safe to say that you're definitely doing what you can to redeem your faith.
I am. I truly am. It's a shame that it's in such a sorry state, but I'll do what I can to make good Sepsi's name once more.
Every faction has
Just
its
for the good
zealots
of the
that give it a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I believe
glad
the
you're
French-
proving me wrong, Sir Icrius. Let's just say that. I'm glad you're proving me wrong.
Well, you're welcome. Glad to be full of surprises for you.
Now then, Arcanus, you're saying you're going to go speak to the plenum about the downstairs issue. I assume we're not going to get any result about that for a while.
It depends. Depends on how long they need to talk it out, and some of the plenum kind of are dead. So we've ended the people we got left. We should be able to get a good consensus with both Margot and Reap on our side.
Yes, and Reap doesn't believe he'll have any return on his inquiries until tomorrow at the very earliest.
But I wouldn't sweat about the downstairs problem for now. We'll get to that when we get a chance.
Now that's something to hear out of context. Brad chuckles.
I like this one.
Hey, you're alright.
In the meantime, what time of day is it around this stage?
I would say, given the fact that I think you guys split up pretty much at the start of the day to do this, I would say it is a late afternoon. I'd say we're talking around about 3 to 4-ish.
Alright. Well, unless anyone has any objections, there's a few things I'd like to go and see to before we get into any more shenanigans.
I see no reason not to. I'd like to start getting a feel for this city properly.
Anyone
Okay. Am I to assume that you plan on heading to the Antiquan building?
else? Yep.
Okay.
You know, that
Good.
man
Anyone
you've
else
been
anything to say?
overworking for months. For over a year. And finally
Maybe.
finish you off.
Maybe.
Icrius is going to find someone to nip off to change into a wolf form to come with him, and Skullface is coming with.
Okay, not a problem. You know what? At some point, I really need to get a wolf token for you. It's just going to be so much easier. Very well, then. So, in that case, let's bring you up to the city map for but one moment. The Tardy Tyro is right about here, this building. And from the note that you were given on your map, Jurnis, the Antiquan building is somewhere around about here. It's more in like the royal quarter. As you head up around this district, you notice there's it seems to be more like embassies, art galleries, you know, the expensive buildings for the noble folk, that kind of thing.
Subconsciously
So-
make yourself a little bit more presentable with prestidigitation and such.
So really, for Sir Icarus, this is a bit more like home.
A little bit, yeah. I would say this, Icarus. So, was this the first time you've actually left Yabalhari?
Yup.
Okay. You're familiar with people who like build their homes, you know, basically on the ground. You know, it's like there are people like that you know live near the mountains. You have at least you know ventured out enough to have you know help negotiate you know trade routes and so on and so forth with people like that. Most of those would be I would say, given where you are, there would be a good mix of human and dwarven buildings. Dwarven architecture is so fascinating to you in that it's a complete inversion of what you are used to.
Yeah.
With Jabal Hari, it's all about building into the mountains or around the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, they build into the floor. The building is almost in a small depression. It rises up a little bit, but as you've gone inside all these different buildings, each room gets progressively lower and lower, almost like with conversation pits and that kind of thing. It's an aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Doors feel better the closer to the ground they get. Makes sense.
Yeah, basically. So, I would say eventually you are going to find your way to a fairly busy but rather expensive looking district.
Oh, God, the bird followed me. Glances over
The
his
what
shoulder.
followed you?
The bird. Glances over his shoulder, sees Tahu.
Quit. Also,
Well,
let me
that's-
just.
I mean, really, when you say the bird, you have to be a bit more specific. There's two of us.
And let me just. So, quick question to a fellow player who's not had a chance to do anything yet. Can you see through Specky, D?
Let's see.
Let
It's
me
giving
just.
me a funky. Yes, I can. It's raining right now, and
Mhm.
that's what I see.
That's really
Yeah.
cool, by the way.
Yeah, the rain effect is awesome.
It's not bad, is it?
Love it.
Also,
I
it
absolutely love it.
appears to be a Sir Icarus token.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was noticing
no.
that. That's what I was
Oh
looking
no,
for.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. I knew.
Well, of course not. It's raining. You went poof.
He's not a fire elemental. Yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a world! What a world! What a world!
Hmm.
Water.
Okay.
More than a shower. It will take more than a shower to douse my flames.
Right. Oh yes, Seethe, we've got you on the splash page again. Was it not loading for you?
Yeah, still having trouble loading.
I'm sorry about
Try
that, dude.
refresh.
Yeah, I see trees, and can you see my
Yeah,
token,
I've
my control moving around?
I can. I think everyone else. It's invisible for everyone else.
Okay, no, because I can see the other people's moving around.
Oh yeah, the little pointers. Yeah.
Yup.
Good. Okay.
But I do
So-
wonder. Jurnis just stood up and announced she had things to deal with and left. Tahu and Seethe, do they actually follow her?
That's a very good question. Both of you, actually. Let's just rewind the clock a little bit. So you have both been hired by Professor Gosling. Yes. So you're just stealthing it?
Yes.
Okay. Tahu, would you please roll me a stealth check as well? Okay. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, jeez. Tahu is having problems tonight.
Performance
see.
issues, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
Put
It
on a
happens.
3.
Yeah. That ouch. So Jurnis, what's your passive perception?
I'm pretty sure it's
Nice.
over 10.
I'm pretty sure it's 12.
Yeah. Okay. So as you're headed down the street, so I'm assuming everybody else is joining her, or are you all off doing your own thing?
Skullface and Icrius have gone with her just in case of trouble, but I can't see anything.
Okay. So we've got Arcanist as well. You can give me one moment, and I'll get her over there as well. That might do something. Technology, it's a wonderful thing when it fucking works. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys arrange how you would wish to be. I'm going to say that Seethe and Tahu are going to be back here, and the rest of the motley crew, I would say you would be somewhere around here. Oh my gosh.
Someone's bleeding.
Someone's... Graz, seriously.
Graz.
It is Graz. Give me a second, and I'm just going to wipe the blood up. Because I can do that. Technology. Poor Graz. Hey, again, we made a joke, so...
Third time of the month.
Exactly.
Is Specky?
Explains why she's been so cranky. Manage modules. Nope, it's the settings.
Specky is also bleeding for some reason.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, there was that. Someone was trying to take a bite out of him.
If we're all together, why does Tahu and Seethe
Yeah,
need to
I
stick?
was expecting it was just going to be.
But I was
Jurnis and Graz
just about to
because I
ask
thought
that. I'm
Arcanus
just like,
went to the plenum.
yeah, like, why did I ask for stealth? I'm like, why am I stealthing? Like,
Yeah, I'm. But so for clarification, Arcanus, to be fair, you did say that you were going to go and chat to the plenum.
That's true.
Okay, so it would just be Skullface in this particular instance. Although you did, yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fair. She's still transformed into wolf form, so she could pass unnoticed, though.
Okay. Boop. Now then, but yeah, if the rest of the group is joining, then Tahu and Seethe would probably be joining them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
No need to sneak.
Okay. All right. So as you guys are heading down, are you explaining what it is you actually want, Jurnis? What this trip to the museum is all about?
Nope.
Okay. Just a day out of the museum. Okay. I would say as you're heading around here, you notice the front entrance of this building. There is a series of small gardens in front. You see in front of you it's like a collection of different buildings that have been placed together over time. You see a sign over the main door. The Antiquan Archaeological Society, Birth of the Forgelands. You also see a bunch of billboards advertising future exhibits or current exhibits, but you would need to get a bit closer to see. And Graz, gosh darn it, honey.
I told you shouldn't have got that piercing from that back alley guy.
He looks alright to me. I'm okay. I am actually just gonna turn off the blood for the time being altogether, because it's a little glitchy. It's really cool, but for some reason it just does seem to not like Graz that much. So let's turn off blood and guts right now.
But she's the best.
She is the best. So bear with us a moment. Yeah, the whole thing's gonna. I know. Hopefully it won't take too long to reset. If I tell you what, while it's resetting, the Dungeon Master needs to reset himself. So we'll be right back.
Experiencing problems with your Dungeons and Dragons campaign, please attempt to restart your DM.
Your adventure is very important.
Inserting coffee.
Is the DM important to us? Yes.
Yes.
Your DM is very important to us. We answer each inquiry in the order on the Loom of Destiny. Please continue to.
Please note that the DM can be bribed with head scritches and cookies.
Did you know you can go online to find information about your instead of
campaign is important to us. Please hold and we'll get back to murdering your characters.
Hey, that's Chemise's job.
Please be aware that your homebrew is bullshit and will not be allowed in this campaign.
My campaign is homebrew.
No.
I can't read.
Devillo and Jurnis, you're both good DMs. You let us do our homebrew nonsense. Every character I've ever played has a homebrew element. Something homebrew in it.
Please.
Yes, and you might be fighting a homebrew boss in mine.
I'll be honest, D. It was Orla who gave me the idea for doing one of the Paladin elves I'm working on. So,
Oh, cool. Nice.
maybe because I asked if you wanted her to have a dragonbone weapon, and you said yes. So
Oh, absolutely. Yes, she definitely needs a dragonbone weapon.
Doesn't
everyone? Doesn't everyone?
Everyone with taste, yes.
Yeah. Oh, welcome back, DM.
Hello, I'm terribly sorry about that. So, you guys head towards the what seems to be the main building. You
to reload.
Yeah, I've been having problems.
Oh, hey, we've actually lost a couple of people. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we've lost half of our players here.
Oh no!
Just gonna try and refresh it on my end as well, see if that helps.
Please, game, please.
I mean, I'm willing to do real theatre of the mind where it's literally just voice, but that's going to be a bit boring.
Never.
Yep, I am.
Some of
Going
us
to.
who
Reload.
you gotta, Devillo, I would recommend to consider that many people, including myself, when we participate in Dungeons and Dragons, because we have vision issues, we're usually doing it just from the audio and the voices, and you guys all paint a beautiful picture.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you,
Thank you.
it might be a
I
case.
use tears of my players as a base for my paints.
It's lovely.
She's
it's
not
lovely.
lying.
No, it's wonderful.
But that kind of doesn't work so much when your players are just as bloodthirsty as you are as a DM.
I mean, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, at the moment,
Attempt to reload.
yeah,
I am not. Nope, it's reloaded, and I am not seeing anything.
yeah, that's a weird one. Tell you
I'm
what.
seeing a blank screen now.
Yeah, tell you what, guys. So on the Discord, the player chat. Let me just 1 second.
I can see clearly now. But the rain is still there.
Come on, and you can load. Load, damn it!
I'm gonna try logging out and logging back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I think I'll have to try that in a second.
Already tried that.
I will say I do adore the login screen, by the way.
Me too. It's so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Icky looks like he has had enough bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what. While we're waiting for this, I will say, Icarus, would you actually like to know what the deal is with that little sidebar with your beautiful, beautiful sword?
Yes, I would.
For your eyes only.
Aww. So only I see it as it is, but other people will be entirely taken off guard by it when it starts kicking ass.
Exactly that.
Mmm.
Well, now we know the bird is a minimalist.
You wouldn't think it looking at his armor.
Come on, load!
Me as well.
Oh gosh darn it. Okay, so yeah, you're currently let me pull you to scene. You're on the splash page at the moment.
Believe you me, I'm trying not to be. It just refuses to load.
I'm not even able to log in, so...
Okay. Now, I have a question for y'all. Was this scene working fine before I removed the blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
So it
Right now,
wasn't lagging up or anything. Okay. I'm not
Right
going
now-
to try and add the blood because it'll do it all from the beginning, and it's But
Just say
I was worried.
I can't even. Oh no, never mind. It's UI's loaded up again, so
Yeah.
I'm here.
What might be an issue as well is the fact that everybody's trying to log in at the same moment because you're all using my internet. So you're all going through like my end, so to speak.
The
Kinky.
server's being throttled, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Starting
yeah.
to load.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I think if this is going to be an ongoing issue, again, for the most part, it seems to. Hello?
Mine showed up.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I think it might be a case of me having to. Well, when I can afford it, because not to get into it, things have been a bit tight recently, but I will actually be doing some research on getting some hosting and figuring a way of hosting this online. So hopefully, touch wood, this will no longer be an issue. But yeah, so we've got Kubur and we've got Seethe, our two British boys. They are currently in the splash page. And do we not have a Frux? Have you not been able to log in yet, Hon?
I'm logged in. It's just I'm still not in this map yet.
I have a question. Like, what's the players list for everyone else in game? Because all I have is, things are working now, and everyone's
I can see 5 people. So
Yeah, I can see I'm on, and I can see the rain again, and I see Aang, Seethe, Jurnis, Graz, and Icrius, and then 2 guards, and then Spec.
I think finally everyone's connection has gone through.
Am I on for anybody? Because all I see is a black screen.
Yeah, I see you. You're right where I just tagged Seethe.
No. The tokens are going to be there regardless of whether we're logged in or not. But no.
Well, you see at the top of the page, I think there should be series of little letters in circles, or that might just be my view as the DM.
No, yeah, I see it.
So at the moment, Jurnis and Frux and Seethe and Specky, they're all on the splash page. So I'm going to keep trying to over to the page that we are on.
Oh, there we are. Specky can see.
And now let me try and pull Seethe over.
Now.
Even though the rain is here.
So really, what just happened is that everyone's connection dropped or got lagged out, and then because everyone's trying to log in at once, the server lagged out even more. And really, it's just been trying to load all of us in this entire time.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay.
But here we go.
Check.
Hopefully the last map that we're going to need for this entire session. Oh wait, there we go. First of all, you forgot something at the tavern, so let's go back to the tavern. I'm joking. Okay, but yeah, everybody else is going to be zoop. So the gang is all here.
There's a weird lighting thing on Specky's. I just had to reload the page.
It's here too, so I think everyone's got janked up lighting.
Oh yeah, some of the angles are a little bit weird.
Oh, it's
Splash page and back and it fixes it.
Okay. Let's hope that works. Okay, yes, that actually worked.
That's what happened in the first time we were trying it, and all the lighting effects were off the map for Jurnis.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the recordings of these. By the way, I'm sure it's a beautiful train wreck, just like D&D it should be. Anyway. You head towards the main building. As you get closer, you see 2 posters on the side advertising future events. One of them is advertising the miraculous scientific discoveries of Dr. Eli Cathal, Weaver of Flesh. And underneath it, basically covering the poster in large red letters, is a cancelled sign. Next to that is another poster. The mysterious and eclectic works of... where's her name gone? Mama Sage, painter extraordinaire. Coming soon.
Fascinating. Might check out that art exhibit once it arrives.
It is always possible.
Maureen used to love coming up here.
Yes, I will say this actually. It was one of her favourite places to visit once you guys had actually founded the business and you were able to spend some time on the top side. This was one of her favourite places. She enjoyed it a lot.
I must say, it's a Weaver of Flesh fellow. That's a rather alarming title.
It does sound a bit odd, doesn't it?
Considering what I deal with.
Honestly, in this town, it doesn't sound that odd at all.
Well then, just a glance to the doors. Does the museum look like it's open?
You check the door?
I should just have a look first.
As you step close, you do see a sign that says currently closed to the public due to current crisis. Business off enquiries only.
I think that counts for what I'm looking for.
I'm still just getting a black screen here.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Try logging out and logging back in. Seeing as the rest of us are in, you should have an easier.
I did what Seethe said earlier and just switched to the splash page and back.
Yeah, the thing is, Seth hasn't even logged into the game at the moment. It's kind of, he's stuck in limbo.
Now I'm logged into the game. I can see everything. Just go. I think it's just this.
You're not on the list.
It should be.
If you're not on the list, you can't get in. Yeah, no, actually, you are not on the list at the moment. So what that means is that you may be logged in, but you're not connected, if that makes sense. You're not connected to the quote-unquote server.
Connected to Foundry, but not to Devillo.
Yeah.
So, while that's going on, so Jurnis, you knock on the door. Eventually, you takes a minute or two, but you hear a shuffling of some bolts, and the door opens. It opens. There we go. Human woman comes to the door, looking around at your group. Hello. Yes. How can I help you?
Hello. I'm looking to speak to Dr. Eli. I have a delivery for him.
Could you not? No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, come on in. And she'll step back, allow you in.
Insight.
Roll an insight check, please, as I get the music and everything set up for this section.
Forget about dog.
Dog is
Dog is rolling.
That is a question.
On the street.
I'm sorry. Typical.
So this is the thing. I'm actually going to. You know what? I don't want to risk it. We're keeping the rain, even though you're indoors. It's the atmosphere, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone play with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside, we know it's outside.
Okay. So, as you head into the lobby, we're not loading anything else. As you guys head into the lobby of this building, it's a large open foyer. with several workers and staff members walking around performing various tasks. It's a fairly old, if well-maintained looking section. It has various posters for old exhibits. You see a couple of paintings on the walls. A large series of statues over here. One of them seems to be like dedicated. It's like a gnomish gentleman in a top hat and a beard. Let me just actually, because I have the art for this, let me just share that with you. Come on. No. Image. Show players. Everyone. So, a large white marble statue of some gnomish gentleman with a top hat. And underneath there is a plaque that says Sir Remco von Thane, founder of Antiken, father of the Forge. So I misspoke as well, by the way. This is a dwarven woman. She looks around at the collected bunch. So, are you all here for a delivery, or are you looking for work?
No, an audience with the doctor.
Right. Let me get the boss. Just wait right here, okay?
What did I get with the insight?
Yes, yeah, I apologize. Yeah, there were a few things happening. 19, okay. At the mention of the good doctor, it's not so much... Fear isn't the word, more... this is not a problem I want to have. I am going to find some... Basically, she's going to find a manager to hand it off to.
Above my pay grade.
Exactly that.
We're all a bunch of Karens and we want to see the manager.
Okay. So after a moment, she returns, and she is going to ask you to follow her. Mr. Von Thane will see you in just a moment. He's busy with another client at the moment. He's just on his break.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as you head out past the main foyer, you find yourself in a large wooden... basically, this is like a second building that has been added on. This one seems to be more of a... the best way to describe it, sort of like a public gallery space. Across the walls are a series of paintings, murals of different locations. I would say the people who would have travelled the most would be Jurnis, Icrius, and actually Seethe, unless I'm mistaken. If you three could roll me a... Let's call it history.
Okie dokie.
I will, as soon as the cat gets off my mush.
Okay, it's not so bad. Yeah, you would recognize these as various locations of interest from all over the continent. There's the Kingdom of Lilith in the Coalition. There's the mountains of Jabal Hari. There's also... Say again?
Where?
I would say this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just tried doing a quick reset. I still can't see anything.
Gosh darn it. Well, at the moment, it's looking like you're not logged in. I know you are. It's... Oh, my gosh, I'm sorry, dude. It might be a connection issue on your end.
Wouldn't surprise me. Fucking top.
Yeah, I remember because way back in the day I used them. I am very sorry about that, dude. If all I can recommend is, just keep going for it, and I'll try and narrate everything that's going on. And if
we'll have to go with that, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. Worst case scenario, if you need to be in a certain position, we can drag the token around. Tahu, are you following the group? Or are you
Sorry,
checking?
where'd everybody go?
Oh, no problem. They just went down this corridor here.
To the south.
Yes.
Eating food. Got distracted.
No problem.
See, if only there was a blood trail so he could follow it easily.
Hey! Anyway. I'll take that. But yeah, I would say, Jurnis, as well, you recognize it takes you a second, but you recognize the city of Riverport, where you made some friends, got yourself a new do, and your coat is actually from.
Where's that one?
I would say that's going to be over in this corner here.
Huh. Now there's a sight I haven't seen in a long time.
What? Where's that?
It's a city of Riverport. It's near where I grew up.
Oh. Well, it looks nice.
Yeah, it was quite.
Fingers crossed when all this has been taken care of and, the world's not on fire, we can visit it together sometime, if you want.
Jurnis will smile, but there's the tiniest hint of a blush on her cheeks.
You can show me off to all your friends. As you're processing that, this dwarf and girl will step in and beckon you to follow.
Oh, right.
Just Jurnis.
She's assuming you're all part of the group. So, by the way, I think we... Dee, are you able to track what's going on? I noticed your token was left outside.
Which is muted.
Oh, fucking that's actually working.
Hey!
Yay! Okay, I'll just track her in.
To tell you that she's currently AFK.
Okay. Not a problem. So, anyways, I'm just gonna drag that over
Give me
there.
your cork appearance.
I know. Oh, hi, Cog. You finally made it to an episode. Welcome. Anyway,
He's been here for
so that's good. Oh my gosh, Cog is the speculator. The Lord deepens.
The music
anyway.
got tense at the right moment there.
Yes, it did. Okay, so just to save some time, just gonna let everybody get in here. This gnome gentleman, he's going to step out. So, this young lady is going to leave. So, yeah, she is going to present this gnomish gentleman here. He is going to stand up and extend his hand to Jurnis. And let me... So, this dude is... he's wearing fairly nice-looking clothing, if a little bit dirty. You see, various bits of, ink and, grime on his hands. He's wearing gloves. So, got these fairly thick goggles on. And he's going to... give you a very big grin and shake your hand and say, hello, hi, pleasure to meet you. My name's Remco Von Thing III. I'm technically the head of the Antique and Archaeological Society. Nice to meet you. So you're here in regards to the doctor, is that correct?
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, I do have a delivery for him and some business to attend to.
Right, it wouldn't be anything large, would it? We kind of had Well, we kind of had enough of the last package he received. It sort of upset a couple of my workers.
Well, now I'm morbidly curious, but no, it's a letter.
Oh, God, thank you. Oh, I'm serious. Look, okay. May I ask, how do you know the good doctor?
By association. I'm a friend of his wife.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I mean, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. I mean, he's, clearly he's a very creative and intelligent person, but he's we were not expecting him to be as much as he has been. Okay, we here at Antiken, we pride ourselves on finding creatives, artists, visionaries from all over the globe, and we bring them here, and we have them share their story, share their vision with the people. And we've had people from all over the place. At some point, I just heard that we have the Giver of Life herself, Dr. Nim, is in the city. I mean, if I could get her to give a lecture, I think that would be amazing. But no, I'm off track. Sorry. There are some things that, shall we say, market well. For example, the paintings that Mama Saja. We've got something from her coming soon. She's a pretty popular painter from up in the mountains. We've been planning on getting her to do an exhibit for a while. And Dr. Cathal, he was, in his field, he's apparently, to be fair, he's actually the only one from what I've heard. But the idea of being able to reattach limbs and help customize and rework the body and all that. That's really fascinating, stuff. And we wanted to try and help fund and support that. But the gentleman himself is a little bit
an eccentric.
Yeah, it's a bit of an eccentric. Yeah, and that's one way to put it.
I see.
Incidentally, you've seen a couple of excitable gnomes. The fact that this guy is calling someone eccentric is going to give you cause for concern.
Jurnis does look mildly concerned.
Yes.
Let's see. Regardless, I'm still trying to get in contact with him. Is he in the building or is he elsewhere in the city?
Oh, yes. He's currently sequestered in the laboratories. Yes, so, actually, just follow me. Thank you, Catherine. I'll take it from here. He basically, he takes you by the hand, basically, and,
okay.
very excited. He starts dragging you around, and talking about a mile a minute. So here is the this is one of the great halls that we've got here. These are some of the different branch offices that we've got. We originally started, my great grandfather, or was it just great? I lose track. Well, my great grandfather, called Fane the First, he started the Antiken Society back during the before the whole catastrophe, and since then, we helped find the technology and all that stuff that helped build the Forgelands, and we've been able to have branches all over Voarcel, not just the Coalition. We've got branches in Vattenberg. We've even got expeditions that are going out to Perthso, to the north, south. Oh, we're all over the place. But yeah, each one of those is one of our branch offices. As he's talking, he's leading you out into this huge amphitheater. It is
this is a beautiful location. Marble flooring. While you're seeing here on the map, these are just specifically, just base colors. As you're walking over, you see all these beautiful little inlaid patterns that almost seem to be mathematic equations or different glyphs and languages from all over Voarcel. And as you look on the walls, there's this gigantic mural that shows all kinds of different environments. There's jungles, there's mountains, there's Arctic tundras, deep underwater areas. It's this whole kaleidoscope of just life and wonder and creation.
So this is our main hall. This is where we have our speakers. As you see here,
And he gestures to the various steps. You guys are at the bottom of this large sunken area. Again, a feature of dwarven architecture. And the closer you get to the walls, the higher and higher it gets.
So normally we have various guests come here and they regale people with their stories, their expertise. I think the best way to describe them would be TED Talks, that kind of thing,
I couldn't think of a funny joke, so yeah. And he takes out a little pointer.
Who is this Ted and why is he giving talks?
He's our janitor. He's nice, but he tends to talk to himself about. We just let him get on with it.
So he points over to this direction.
This is one of our most important areas. This is our gift shop. Feel free to get something on the way out. Well, although technically we are closed to the public at the moment because, of course, the crisis is going on. Hopefully that's going to be solved eventually. Over here is our exhibition for, the various religions of Voarcel. Some of the more well-known ones and, something a little more esoteric, like mysterious cults and that kind of thing. Up this way here, where we're going, these are the laboratories. This is usually where we have people involved in the science and industry. Down here is going to be our primary gallery, where we currently have Miss Mama. I keep forgetting the name of the freaking NPC. Mama Saja. She's from the mountains. She's she's a furbolg. They say that she can paint the future. I don't believe in such things myself, but it's fairly popular. Good something to draw a crowd. Over here is our astronomy and our observatory. Currently closed for renovations right now, but we use it for various lectures and anything to do with the stars or analysing the patterns of the moons, that kind of thing. And down there, that's where we keep the armory, all like the older weapons and, armor from different cultures. We actually just had a delivery a few months back from one of our exhibitions in the Perso Islands. A couple of interesting tribe of snake people were discovered, and they use this, they have all these like curved blades and this really unusual poison. It sort of like changes color over time. It's really interesting stuff. Of course, we don't have the poison itself on display, and legalities and all that. But we've got some botanists, who've done a bit of a write up about the traits and that kind of thing.
I'm debating whether to bring up the fact I possess one of these vials.
It's entirely up to you.
I'm just glad that this excitable gnome isn't swinging from her horns.
It makes a change. Although you do suddenly start thinking about Glorth a little.
myself sad.
Well, anyway, as he's chanting, you guys move along, and again, he has got you by the hand, Jurnis.
So yes,
Renkel, hold up a moment.
yes, I'm so sorry. What was your name?
Seethe, at your service.
Oh, that's a great pleasure. I love that accent. I'm having trouble placing it. Would you be from the Union or from the Wildlands?
Oh, I'm from around. Say, you were mentioning something about a poison that changes color over time.
Oh yeah. It's I'm trying to think of the exact word for it. It's a particular type of, I think it's like morphic venom, something like that. But yeah, no, it's very popular with the serpent people. 1T. They call themselves. People think that they had something to do with, the ancient troll empire. We've been basically, not me personally, but one of my associates is writing a paper on it. The most fascinating stuff. But I'm so sorry. What was it you wanted to know?
So, do you have such stuff on display? Would you be willing to have anything on display like that?
Oh well, I mean, certainly. I will say we are probably willing to pay, a great deal for, any collectors who would be willing to, procure such an item. But to clarify, I mean, it would be considered a restricted substance by the laws of this country. And while we are an international organization, we try to keep within the letter of the law. But he looks around. Our researchers would be very happy if we could get a sample. So if you would be willing to join our next venture up to the Perso Islands, I mean, we could definitely make it worth your while.
That might not be necessary. Is there perhaps a place we could talk in private?
Certainly, actually, yeah. Just right ahead. Let's head this way. And instead of leading you towards the laboratories, he starts leading you towards this art gallery. We can. He actually does, yes. He's looking at Seethe, but he still has you by the hand. So yes, as I say, if you all just want to wait here for a moment, this is the gallery space. This is where we're hosting Mama Sidge's paintings. He actually eventually does release your hand. Miss Seethe, if you would just follow me, we can have a chat here in the little garden. And he
shakes her hand, going, "Oh my god, he had an incredible grip."
As he opens the door, he almost runs into this woman. You see before him let me bring her up. You see a furbolg woman. She's currently bundled up a little to protect herself from the rain. She is wearing fairly comfortable clothes, has a nice little rain smock, an umbrella, and you can see she's been sketching away with a ink pen, and she is also currently wandering around in a wooden wheelchair, got a large cigar in her mouth. Looks to the group. "Oh, so sorry, was I in the way?" Sorry, Mom. I didn't realise you were using this space. Oh, no, it's no problem. Let me just get out of your way. It's all yours. Thank you. Mama Seethe, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself? I'll be right back. And he just heads out with Seethe in tow. So while you two are out there, I would say this. You guys are kind of hovering on the outside of this gallery. As you're looking in, I would very much like you all to make a perception check, please.
Okay. Perception.
Yes. Okay. And one from Tahu as well, if I may.
Really haven't been paying attention too much, but sure.
Is
Meanwhile, Jurnis is like seriously, look, he's left handprints he's left fingerprints in my hand.
Yeah. I would say Tahu is still looking at the massive mural in the main hall here. Graz is looking at Jurnis's hand. I would say, you know what? I would say that Icrius.
Yes.
We'll get to you last.
Ha!
Skullface, you see, I would say over here, it takes you aback a bit, but you see a picture of your wife. It's just a charcoal rendering, but it's unmistakable. It's her. As you come closer to have a look.
He just silently walks towards it.
Yeah. She's on stage. She's performing. It's a very good likeness. With the 13, you notice that the crowd aren't really the detail. Everything around her is more out of focus, smudged, and but the detail on the dress, the stage, her singing, she looks just how you remember her. She looks happy. You would notice, though, that she seems to be, the stage that she's on is reflective. There are mirrors all around her. One of the reflections is looking over her shoulder, and it has a sinister expression. It's a surreal image, and it is that reflection that there's something uncomfortable about it. Let's see. Ang. As you're looking around, you notice over here there is it's a mountain pass, and it takes you a moment before you realize you know this pass. This is where the monastery was. This is where you were trained. And as you get closer and you look at it, some of the crowd, the various figures around the area, you could swear one of them was your old master. The detail in this, the accuracy is surprising. On a whim, you look to where your old room was, and as you look closer, it's very impressionistic, just a series of, small splashes of paint. But you see a shape, and as your eyes focus on the detail, you realize you're looking at yourself, looking out of the window at you.
This is a very strange place.
Are they moving, or is it all static?
They are not moving. These are static images. It is just, that's your room, and the shape of the paint and all that can only be you. And you just get the feeling that you're looking at yourself, It's a very surreal feeling. And Sir Icarus,
Oh boy.
let me just get the right music playing. Chemise, would you like to describe... Oh, that's a point. I should actually... is D...
She says she's back, but she's still mute.
Okay. D. Icarus is looking at a painting.
D.
We may have to wait a moment for her, unfortunately. Just enjoy the nice, calm, relaxing music.
Yes, this bodes well. All right. Well, the way D, I gotta be RB super fast. So, give me a second.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
No idea the sinister crap is happening in the other room.
Yeah. In fact, speaking of, yeah, I think we shall. So, meanwhile, over here, Seethe, you are alone with Remco. You're in this nice little self-contained garden. It's open air. The rain is pouring down. However, it's beautiful little bridge that goes over this small artificial pond. You see fish in there, actually. It's this nice little nook in the middle of all this art.
So, yes, what can I do for you exactly? You said you had something to discuss?
Well, she doesn't beat about the bush. She just places the vial on the railing there, right in front of him.
Oh my!
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
So for clarification, we are currently focusing on Remco and Seethe.
Yeah, no worries.
Their little transaction. While we wait and see if we can get a D.
Right, okay, wow, oh my, how did you get this? This is very hard to find.
Just happened to come across this after confiscating.
Guys, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, D.
There's a D.
Hey. Okay. So we will get
It
to
keeps
D.
muting. It keeps muting, and I'm sorry. I'm not muting it. I was talking this whole time.
Oh, honey, it's okay. Technology can be a swine, but we're gonna focus. We'll just do this little scene with Renko.
You're fine.
And you get to describe a painting for us. Anyway.
Yeah, that'll technology fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. So Remco is. He almost hesitantly reaches out to us about. May I?
Go right ahead.
Oh,
Thank you. He picks up the vial and lifts it up to his goggles, adjusts them slightly. You hear a little as he adjusts his focus.
Oh, let's see. It's still brown. Oh, this is really fresh. Wow. Probably doesn't have much longer though, but no. Oh wow, this is excellent. Oh man. This freshness. Would you be willing to part with this for 1,000 gold pieces?
I reluctantly accept this offer.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm gonna get one of my associates to, write something up, a contract and everything. But for the moment, until we've got that taken care of, he respectfully hands the vial back to you. Just so you know, there's no funny business. And I don't wish to pry too much. The Antiquan Society is a legitimate business, but we do deal a lot with vendors and freelance operatives who are able to acquire materials from various locations all around the world. If you were able to acquire more of this substance in the future, we, of course, confirming that it is all above board and there is no skullduggery, shall we say, anything that could cause problems for us legally, shall we say. I think we could do some business.
As far as I'm concerned, it's out of the wrong hands and into the right hand.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Well, yes, I'll get someone to draw that up, and, right, well, thank you, that was a most unexpected pleasure. And he is going to head back in here. So, while that was happening...
Fun times!
Yes, while that was happening... There is a painting on the wall that Sir Icrius locks eyes with instantly. He recognizes the individual instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, actually, it is right here, partially obscured by this wall. Zoom. Would you please, Dee, like to describe the painting?
I would be happy to. I did send you one quick question in your
Ooh.
Discord just to get clarity on something, and then once I do that, I will be happy to describe it.
I would say no. Not in this instance, no.
Then I'm about to describe it, yes.
Mm.
Now, the details and the colors appear to have faded over who knows how much time. But the imagery depicted couldn't be clearer. A pale woman stands in a noble pose, firm-footed, at a precipice, an eerie blue-glowing longsword held aloft in her left hand. Her right hand is a clenched fist of defiance. She wears blue and silver armor that seems to be a communion of chitinous leather and plate. Her long white hair trails back behind her head like a war banner. The target of her defiance? A sickly yellow sun, painted without subtlety as an other, the enemy. And upon closer inspection, you notice something further. As anyone approaches, to truly take in the details of the image, should I go on, or should someone have to do a dice roll, Devillo?
I would say Icrius is all but shoving his face into this. Is that fair?
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, then Icrius, as you approach and truly take in the details of the image, you realize that what seemed like pallid skin is, in fact, bone. As is the hand clutching the blade, a skeletal grip.
Mm-hmm.
This heroic drawing is of an undead as its hero. A sea of black smoke rises up around her feet at the precipice, from an abyss below, issuing from the cracked and ruined ground. Black tendrils of shadow devour the bottom of the image. At its base, and at the very edges where the darkness is strongest, hundreds of small emerald lights, almost like eyes, can be seen.
Nice.
Now, one other question. Is there specific wording, anything involving wording in this particular painting?
I would actually say there is a title at the bottom.
Yes. Would you like to tell them the title, or should I?
Oh, please, you do it so well.
The title is Never to Be, So Say We All. Is that the title you were looking for, Devillo?
Yes, indeed.
Would Jurnis have noticed Icrius dumbly walking directly to her and Graz?
Yes.
Well, I would say this. Graz had a 4, you had a 6. You would have been like, well, he's a bit rude. And she would have gone back to looking at your hand for a moment. Eventually, though, I would say that you notice that, like, Ang is sort of focused over here, Skullface is focused over here, and Icrius is focused over here.
Did I miss something?
as you go over, it's clear as fucking day. That's Chemise. No perception roll needed there. And this is an old-looking painting.
Oh.
Yes, it's her. Them, rather.
How?
Oh, you like the painting, yeah? Would you believe that was my first one? I think I was in, 15 or something when I painted that one? Long time ago now.
Sorry, you said you painted this how many years ago?
Let's say I'm older than I look. A girl does not give her age. We've not been introduced. The Furbolg wheels herself over on her wheelchair. Sajida, but you can call me Mama. Most people do. Takes a puff of a cigar.
Pleasure. I'm sorry if I seem a little bit distracted, but I know that person in the painting.
Do you? She leans forward, with great interest. How would you know this one specifically?
She was a traveling companion for a time, and she was not a good person.
She looks at the painting. I believe it.
Glance over at Icrius and just see how he's doing.
How's he doing?
Wow! He is as grim could be.
Icky, alright.
Well, to say I'm alright would be a complete and utter lie. And traveling companion is a generous term to describe Miss Chemise. She's a gross manipulator and a threat to all.
I suppose that is a better way to describe her, yes.
I confess it has been a very long time since I, had the inspiration to paint that particular one, but, no, I do remember, I had some very troubled nights when I, was inspired. Your reaction is not the only one. A lot of people come here to look at the paintings and the art, and then they get a little bit creeped out. More often than not, someone finds something that's familiar to them. I would say this, as you guys are looking around, this is the most eclectic collection of random images you've ever seen. There is no theme. There is no focus. It's like a collage of you see ink drawings, charcoal sketches, pencil, watercolors, impressionistic, almost like like cave paintings, hand paintings. It's a whole mishmash of everything. But as you look around, some things do seem familiar. And you do notice every now and then, like, say, for example, this woman over here, who you kind of all walk past, she's sort of like staring intently at one particular ink drawing with a look of horror and apprehension. And she eventually just like runs off. It's like that happens to everybody, I suppose.
As we're looking around the collection again, does Jurnis spot anything? Or does Graz?
The Seethe?
So, that's a good question. By the way, I would say at this point, Tahu, you would have probably joined them. Yeah, I would say, Jurnis, give me one more perception check. 13. Yes. You're looking around and you do notice down here, buried, almost half covered with two other pictures. It's the thing that drags your attention are the eyes, and you instinctively go to touch his ring.
No.
It's a rather flattering, it's a rather beautiful looking painting of your former mentor. And do you go any closer?
Yeah, as soon as she sees that, she's just going to drop the conversation, forget her manners, and just walk over.
Okay. There are two other pieces slightly covering it up. Do you lift them to see the full piece?
Yep.
On one side, you see yourself a little bit younger, a little not so much worse for wear, but before you became you, shall we say. Slightly messy hair, but, you know, bit of a cheerful smile. Simple clothes. Do you peel the other layer? You probably know what you're going to see. Or rather, who.
She hesitates for a long time before she does.
It's him. Looks just how he did when you met him. Same boyish face. All three of you walking down some mountain path towards the viewer. You look happy. You were happy. I would say it's around about this point that you notice that Graz is somewhere over here. Although, having said that, you've probably gone out of there, so... So, yeah, as for the others, I would say Tahu. Yeah, I would say you... over on this end, Tahu would... There we go. I would say Tahu spies something familiar. It's a painting of your employer, or Jasper. You know, he seems to be in an alley or something. His sword stick half open. From the perspective, it looks like something large. Sort of like a Dutch angle. Something large and shadowy is creeping around the edges towards him. He looks determined but injured. As for Seethe...
Probably follow Jurnis.
Say again?
I'm probably going to follow Jurnis.
Fair enough. And as for Seethe... what did you roll, my dear?
I haven't rolled a perception yet.
Please. I apologize. Yes, please roll me a perception. 18. Okay, yeah. Over here, just off to the side, past Icrius, you recognize the large hat of Lady Cara Gosling. It's not the most flattering depiction. She seems to be lounging in an armchair. There's a rug carpet. She's by a fireplace or something. It's a black and white, ink sketch. She's smoking a cigar, drinking, a large, glass of something. Seems very confident, and it's probably one of the first times you've ever seen her smiling. As you look at the details, you notice that this is a fur carpet, and you have a very sinister feeling down the back of your neck. The details aren't quite there, but it's almost like it's an actual fur rug. Some large cat of some description has been skinned.
Oh, son of a...
So, Skullface, you approached Mamasaja?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, little man, how can I help you?
I just wanted to thank you.
Hmm?
He indicates the sketch. Well, my wife would have been very. She would have appreciated being up here.
Oh. Oh, well, happy to help. I mean, I would offer it you if you wish. I'm assuming with the past tense she's no longer with you, my friend.
She passed away last year.
She wheels herself over to the particular piece you're after.
Oh, let me think. Oh, okay, yeah, I actually... When did you say this was?
Last year.
She reaches into her robes and pulls out this small notebook and is flipping through. As you look around, you see there are these little numbers attached to most of the pieces. I like to try and keep track of things that I've, when I made them and all that, also keep a bit of a dream diary for, because of the inspiration and all. This one, I think, yeah, that was about a year ago.
Yeah, she passed away not long after that performance.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend.
Like I say, she would have been there. She'd been quite happy to have had a picture up in this place. She always used to love coming around here.
Well, I mean, if I can help honour her memory in some way, albeit unwittingly. I mean, most of this, as you see, she gestures around. I just get inspired. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm just, having a drink, I'm just painting something random, and then some day later, someone starts pointing at me, screaming, and trying to burn me as a witch. I'm no fortune teller, I just paint what I see, and, sometimes I see things people wish I didn't. But I'm glad that in this case I've seen something that you appreciate.
Believe me, I do.
Oh. Happy to help, my friend, happy to help.
Excuse me, Mama.
Yeah, that's right.
Your pieces,
Yes.
are they display only or are they for sale?
She looks at you. Give me an insight check. There's a look in her eyes you don't quite know, though to be fair, you are very distracted right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be like, it's all yours.
Thank
No
you.
charge. I might have something else for you, funnily enough, but maybe not right now. Think you've got more important things to worry about?
Jurnis looks very concerned. I suppose we'll make arrangements with Mr. Von Thing for that.
I would say this, Von Thane, he's actually still here. He's kind of... This is not... You get the feeling that this isn't the first time that he's seen people just be absolutely floored by the display, and he's kind of been keeping a respectful, silence during all this.
Yes, sorry, we can get something taken care of. That's not going to be a problem.
I appreciate that. Please excuse me. And George is going to look around for her emotional support goblin.
Okay.
We all need an emotional support goblin.
Yeah.
It
is... Yes. Go on,
this particular sketch, you wouldn't mind, with Mama's permission, of course, this sketch being a permanent part of the collection.
Oh, I mean, that's very kind of you. Yes, certainly. I mean, this is like the whole exhibit itself is not a permanent installation. I mean, we've got a couple of months before Miss Mama here. She's, I think the next part of your tour was going to be, was it Siamere or was it somewhere else? We'll see where it is. But yeah, no, if this is what your wife wished, then absolutely, she stays here.
Thank you, Mama. Yes. As I said, Mr. Fontaine, it would be appreciated.
Of course, not a problem. You seem to make a little bit of a note. Meanwhile, so Graz is not turning around. You see her sort of holding onto this end of the wall for support, and she is breathing very heavily.
Graz, are you alright?
You see her half look over her shoulder a second before she reaches out and grabs something from the wall and starts tearing. Fine. I am absolutely fine.
Ooh.
Shoves the pieces into her pocket and she does not look at you.
John, let's roll perception to see if you saw it.
That's a fair point. Could I try that?
You absolutely can.
You know,
Dang it.
I'm gonna use the inspiration for it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
What do you add for that?
That's a fair point. Let's bring up the rules for inspiration.
A reroll normally.
Yeah, it's a reroll actually. Yeah, So.
Yeah, I think I want to take the 12.
Hit the door.
You know what? I would say advantage, so let's call it 13.
Well, in that case, you... I take the 20?
You know what? For your patience with all the technical stuff, sure, and nat 20. Oh, well, a dirty 20. Okay.
Let me learn about my little goblin gal.
You see what appears to be a Goliath. A cruel smile staring at the viewer. It's like it's an ink portrait, but there's a little bit of a watercolor wash, that light blue grey shade that most Goliaths have. And it's just something about the eyes, the smile. You've seen people like this before, very unpleasant, thuggish, before Graz absolutely destroys it.
Did she leave the pieces on the floor, or did she take them?
No, she took the pieces and shoved them into her pocket. I am just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. We're fine.
We could
Sorry.
find somewhere a little subtler to hide the evidence.
Yeah, you know what? I fancy feeding some fish. And she's actually going to head over here. And she is going to step out here.
Jurnis will keep an eye out while she destroys the evidence.
Okay. I would say that you hear a little more ripping and tearing in the rain as she throws what few pieces remain into the water. So, while all this is going on, I have a question for D.
Yes.
Ah, there we are. Good. I just wanted to make sure. Now,
Unfortunately, I never really had time to make a special. Where are you? 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 Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't have much time to put together, a special map and everything. But shall we join our dear Chemise and her friend for a moment?
I'm all for it. Are you okay with that, Icarus?
Oh,
No,
nice!
anyway.
So,
DM, I love these effects.
I know
Yeah.
they're kind of worth all the gubbins that we've been
You
going
you
through this
you
bit.
you don't like that, Icarus?
No, it's a bit troubling to say the least.
It's good news. It's all good news. Everything is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Yes, of course
Yeah.
you think that.
Good news, everyone.
All depends on your point of view, doesn't it?
It does.
So, here we are, deep, deep in the dark.
Cold,
Your
cold, dark.
Yes, wonderful, isn't it? Your friend, or rather, your new friend, your guide, has left you to your devices for a little while. After the invisible doorway, you were led down a series of caverns and passages. You discovered some remains of various expeditions, dig sites. Actually, I would say, Chemise, I'll let you roll something for this. Give me a history with advantage.
Oh yes. I will do so now.
Okay.
If I can get to it. There. I think.
Yeah, with a 10. Okay. You have spent most of your life working in mines, so
Yep.
you know the difference between a commercial mine and something like this. This strikes you as something more academic.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like these people were researchers rather than trying to mine out various ores and materials. They were excavating, uncovering. And as you go further down, you start to see elements of something unusual.
What's that?
Ah, that, my darling, would be an element of, well, you remember I spoke of them earlier. The enemy.
Huh.
This was once one of their facilities. Of
Is
course,
that
now
why
that
we're
they're
here?
no longer. I'm so sorry?
I said, is that why we're here?
Of course.
Hmm.
Great deal of power down here.
Going to waste.
Well, you feel Mazina's eyes look in the direction where your guide is leading you. They're using it, of course, but I'm sure we can find a use for it. Of course, remember, my dear, we're guests. We need to be polite. We're not here to take anything.
Of course.
Incidentally, all of this is happening in your head.
Yeah. And
Your
she's
guide
talking
is
back
not
in her
here.
head too. She's not
Mhm.
speaking out loud.
Mhm.
And she's saying, of course, I don't want to take anything. I want to give.
No, you will, my dear, you will. But yes, this was once a Kahaya facility. To be fair, I don't quite recall the exact purpose. It's been a while. Probably something asepsis related, but more on that later.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to do right now, however, is impress upon our associate that we are worth the trouble. Once he has helped you get where you need to go, then you can help me with my problem.
You're my friend, of course I'll help you. We're in this together, after all.
I appreciate that, thank you. So, as you're heading further down, you come to a series of large doors, and in front of them is something you have never seen before. An entity chained, horrific, amalgamation of shapes that make no sense, an acrid stench of burning ozone.
Chemise breathes it in, or tries to anyway. As much as even though it's just for show, because she doesn't breathe.
Your guide. Well, it's the thought that counts. You can sense. I would say you can sense smell. Yeah. But yeah, your guide looks over his shoulder. I'll be careful of provoking my pet. I keep it chained up to deter anybody who gets past our defenses. We'll be able to come this way.
And Chemise smiles and says, "It's beautiful."
That it is. It serves its purpose, at least. And the small gnome, undead, like you, makes a way to the side of the door, makes an arcane gesture, and you hear this deep rumbling as in the distance sounds of bells begin to chime.
Chemise cocks her head, listens.
Begins to slowly grind open in front of you. And at the moment, aside from the emissions coming off from this great beast that is chained to the side of the wall, there is no other light. However, as the door opens, light floods the room as you see this shining, metallic, alien, bizarre structure before you. As I said earlier, welcome to my home, the Library of Nelial. He steps to the side and bids you enter.
Chemise has the slightest moment of having to get herself together, and she nods and says, "It's beautiful too." And then she walks forward as if unafraid.
Is she afraid?
Only in the sense that she's never seen anything like it, so she's sort of like concerned about an attack for herself and her friend. Like, she's worried that something could betray her in this place that she doesn't know how to handle. She doesn't want to be a prisoner again, especially since she's seen that this being takes prisoners of pets. So that's weighing on her mind. But she's not afraid of learning.
Okay. At that, as you cross the threshold, the gnome snaps his fingers, makes a gesture in the air, and much louder now and closer, you hear 3 distinct tones as the door starts to close behind you. No, I'm sorry, the Lich says to you. We haven't properly introduced ourselves. I'm aware of what you are, but who are you exactly?
I was given the name Chemise Mill. I was
Salt.
born a slave. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Your name is Salt.
She nods. It's the only thing that matters where I come from.
I see. Lowborn. But that doesn't really matter, does it?
She shakes her head and says, I was born a slave. But no more. No more for anyone.
Well, I can provide you with what you need. I might require a favor or two in return, but this was gifted to me, and I can gift it to you.
A grin at that, a nod. She says, rather than barter, what's the price?
Oh, well, I mean, a little bit of allegiance, a little favor. It requires my interests on the surface. I've noticed that things are getting a little bit difficult up there. And the more difficult things get up there, the more likely people are going to come down here. I would rather not be disturbed.
Chemise nods and says, I'm always happy with alliance. She's very careful to not say allegiance. She says alliance. There's a difference.
Suffice it
I'm
to
sure
say,
he can put two and two together.
You, yeah, give me an insight check.
Yeah. These are dusty
He's
dice.
hard to read. I mean, his face is more skeletal than yours. It's hard to read. But the gnomish lich, you hear a little chuckle as he leads you around the alien architecture of this. The room you're in is this huge, round. It's almost like a perfect sphere in a way. Ladders and it's sort of like there's steps that are cut into the floor that you're moving down into.
Yeah, Chemise is really impressed by it.
There's a middle platform that leads up to in like sort of the center, but there's also like lower levels and different areas. But as you look around, the whole thing seems to be one giant hollowed out sphere.
Is it cold or hot?
It's freezing.
Wonderful. Yeah, Chemise stretches her arms at the freezing cold and just a little bit like down low. She's not being super casual, but she's almost like she can't help but embrace the cold.
You're also not alone here.
Yeah.
There are many undead.
Ooh. She looks around slowly at them.
They are less looking at you and more looking to their leader, the gnome. Eventually he leads you to the central dais, turns to regard you with a big smile. Well, as I said, you introduce yourself. I suppose it's only fitting, before we do business, I introduce myself.
Yes.
Remco von Thane, the first. And with that, I think we're probably going to call it there.
Fantastic session, guys.
Oh, well, we're all like yucking around at the art gallery. Chemise is down debts, gaining allies and power every second. That drives me crazy.
Well, you know, if it helps, Icrius, just remember that Skullface gently assured everyone that it's no big deal, and there's nothing to worry about, and it's not a priority. Chemise is fine with that. Just relax.
Yes, true that they chose to ignore the expert, but...
Yep. I'm sure that won't have any impact in the future.
I am entirely convinced that the Furball character was created entirely to mess with us all.
I mean, you think that that's not my modus operandi for every single character I make?
I was going to say, all the characters.
Yeah.
trying to break Jurnis. She's already facing one of her big insecurities today. She was not ready for that.
Yeah, I feel like Jurnis has probably forgotten her initial mission to the art gallery, huh? To the museum, rather. It's like, oh yeah, this package. Oh, who gives a shit?
For all the things to be shown to Seethe, I'm glad it was so mild.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. You don't really know. It's just a fur rug. It could be anything.
I mean, like even if the fur rug was Seethe, like there's secrets Seethe doesn't want let out.
Well, that's the real good thing. Fur rugs are great at keeping secrets.
Also, Seethe's a heck of a lot more going to be a heck of a lot more cautious around Gosling now, because
really, you should have been from the start.
Oh
Remember,
no!
Dead cats
Here's
twitch
reasoning.
no tails.
Here's my reasoning. I understood that Gosling had contempt for Seethe, but she must have found her useful because she still succeeds in what she's tasked in doing. So, my reasoning is, does she know about Seethe?
That's a very good question. If she did know, would she care? As long as you're useful, probably not. If you stop being useful, she'd probably find something else for you to be useful as.
So, these
Perfect timing with the music there.
These pictures are clearly displaying something in our characters' lives. This feels like a future event.
But that's what she does. That's what she paints. She paints the future.
Oh, right. Oh, come on.
Well, I mean, she paints what she sees.
I hope this.
Which at the time was the future, so.
There are more paintings. I would say this. There are, depending on what you rolled, there were other things that you could see, and who knows? You can always come back here and you might spot something else.
Well, Icrius is going to go look at Mama's artwork anyway because she's from the mountains, which he immediately assumes to mean Yabahari. So, yeah, he'll be back. So there'll be more artwork for you to traumatize me with.
Are we still going to be there?
Say that again.
Sorry. Are we still going to be there when the game starts next week?
Yes, because there is of course a primary reason for you to be there, which we've not got to yet. I kind of padded out a little bit because I was like, we're getting close to this time because of all the tech stuff, and I'm like, okay, I actually have stuff planned, for this. So yeah. So I had planned on doing this in a later session, but I thought, nah, let's pull the trigger now.
Cool.
Skullface is not extremely happy, but he's content.
Well, I'm glad Skullface is happy because Icrius really isn't. He didn't move. He was looking at the painting the entire time while you were all taking damage.
One thing I will say for Skullface, bless his heart for focusing so much on the fact that his wife is in a picture and he has a lovely picture of her, that he completely ignored the fact that one of the reflections was staring at her.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aang was kind of happy with his, although he did notice the fact that he was staring at himself.
So, I think we've had some theories, but are there any final theories or comments?
I have a comment and a theory.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just leave it be for now.
I have comments, but they're for Sir Icrius to make next session.
Devillo, you're sick and twisted. and creative as fuck.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means the world. So, that all having been said, play of the game.
1,000
really-
gold. 1,000 gold.
Yes, you made 1,000 gold. Well done.
Hmm.
Yeah. That venom is insanely rare, as you have now learned.
And apparently it had an expiration date which was very soon, so you probably would have went to use that and it wouldn't have worked.
Well, no. Here is the thing. Full disclosure: that particular item is something that I took from the Sandy Peterson Call of Cthulhu book for 5th edition, and in it basically it degrades over time. At the moment, the brown color, that's its freshest. That's when it's at its highest potency. As it gets less potent, it changes colour and different effects occur. So because it's so fresh, that's why it's worth so much. Because they can analyse and study it as it slowly degrades over time. So
That was exactly my reasoning. I wanted to see if I could get a lot for it.
very well, and you did. So, unless anyone else has anything they wish to discuss, I know we have fumble of the game, but I don't know if that's really relevant to this particular instance. I would say fumble of the game was Sethe's internet. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Trail.
I'll have
Technology.
another one that I'm going to do another one that I'm going to do another one I talked about after the stream.
I would
Okay.
like to make an observation, and it's a bit of a matter of irony. So Icrius is like a knight and a noble, used to the finer things in life. You know, probably on the frugal side of finery, because Paladin, you know, holy man, life of simplicity. But still, I think everyone else in this party has obtained a fat stack of money at some point, and yet Icrius is like the pauper Paladin.
But he
Icrius,
got
I'm
his
not
wealth
that
in the
rich.
form of a sword. A sword.
As
Icrius,
sort of-
I only have
You
like 40
keep
gold.
giving your
dude.
money away, though, don't you?
Yes, because he's a paladin. Charity!
Oh,
To be fair, though, Tahu has been given some obsidian blades from Lady Carver, and I think you are being paid something every day, although we've not actually.
Discussed it.
Yeah, we need to discuss that actually, because you are technically being paid.
Yeah, but how am I receiving that payment either?
Yeah, that's going to be something where you would actually have to go to the August Sanctum and pick it up directly. So you might have a
bugger.
nice stack of cash waiting for you back home.
Mine.
Did I collect payment for my first task from Gosling?
You know what? I want to say you probably didn't. We will address that off stream, I think. But all of that having been said, I think that is going to be good for today. Join us on next week, where absolutely nothing bad ever happens. Here comes the sun. It's all right.
There's nothing to worry about because Skullface said so.
Jurnis is going to make a big life decision whilst emotionally compromised. Yay!
Oh, just you wait. Just you. I've got stuff to share with you in a minute as soon as we go off stream in regards to that. That's going to be fun. But anyway, in the meantime, that is going to be a very good night from the good dog, the good boy. Everyone seems to think his name's Tiberius. Can't think why.
Bye.
A very good night from... He's honestly not hallucinating, guys. It's a really nice sword.
Good night, everybody.
A good night from... Where? Cream? A good night from... She's not the villain of the campaign. Trust me. D.
I'm never the villain of the campaign. I'm always the hero. Make sure to be kind to each other, wear masks, be good, be decent, nice.
Mm-hmm. A very good night from the woman who knows how to cut a rug, Frux.
10 gold, 20 gold, 30 gold, 40 gold.
Is it really wise to be counting your gold in the middle of the floor like that?
A very good night from the Kung Fu kitty in the window, Ice.
Good night, everyone. I'll see you all Saturday.
Oh yes, it's going to be awesome. A very good night from the bard with no past whatsoever, Jurnis, the wee devil herself.
Just that gif of Archer holding up his finger and chugging from the flask.
Yep. And lastly, a very good night from the loving husband and the crazed counsellor themselves, Seethe.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
See you all on Saturday for the game that Ice is going to be running, the Trial of Elements, and it is going to be freaking awesome. Got some cool stuff planned. Cannot wait. I am so excited to play my nice character, who's not the least bit problematic or going through a life crisis at all. Can't wait.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye